Hi everyone, welcome back to Total War Therapy, and today we're gonna talk about maybe not the worst units of the game, but some units that should be remade, rethought, because they have huge potential, but in the current situation, honestly, in my campaigns, I never recruit them. So don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy my video, and let's begin. But first, a quick mention to the Nan Gau Grenadiers, to prove that it's not true that Creative Assembly is not listening to us. When I made the video about them at the release of the last patch that introduced this new unit for Grand Cathay, I was completely not satisfied with them. They had this very little range that it was little not in the upper, not only in the upper side but even in the lower side. So you had this very little space where to throw your bomb, a lot of ammunition but definitely not effective even given the flaming effect. The missile strength is so low for a bomb grenade unit, and honestly for the same price you can take the Iron Hell Gunners that have more range, more missile strength, more ammunition and more everything. So why you should waste money on the Nan Gau Grenadiers? Actually now they are working very good. First, they work on their friendly fire, so apparently their bomb don't hit that hard your own units. This is completely against the lore. I mean, a bomb should hit even your infantry, but I mean, they do like that. And now they are very enjoyable because you can just deploy them at the back of your front line, not at the front like the Iron Hell Gunners, and they can still throw their bombs. They have a lot of ammunition, and all their explosive damage will be dealt only to the enemy troops. And even if I say that it's not completely according to the lore of the grenades, of the bombs, I like now to use them, and I think in the next campaign I will probably recruit them. Now let's begin with the first actual unit that in my opinion needed to be reworked, remade, rethink, or at least upgraded in some way. I'm talking about the War Wagons from the Empire. And the Empire is one of my favorite faction, and I kinda love these War Wagons going around the battlefield. But the generic version, so not the Mortar 1 or the Hellblaster Volley Guns 1, for me it's just very hard to extract the value from this unit. It's true that they have a powerful missile attack with their handgunners with a lot of ammunition even compared to a handgunner unit, because I mean supposedly they have more ammunition stored in the War Wagon. The range is nice, the missile strength, it's I mean there are more volleys, but I mean it's strong, even if they are there are fewer entities than the normal handgunners, but their speed of 60 is very slow. Everything that it's a little fast in the game, a dog, a flying unit, a light cavalry, a heavy cavalry, infantry monster, they can outrun every unit in the game. Even the Rotmongers probably they can outrun this unit. And for a unit that is supposed to be harassing like any missile cavalry, that can be a problem. They have plenty of armor actually, but since the very low melee stats, they cannot be engaged in melee, even if they have this powerful thing that they can still shoot with their handguns even when they are stuck in melee. That it's not that common in this game. So there are some scenarios when it can be a powerful unit. That is the rare circumstance that in the enemy army there is no missile infantry, there is no fast unit, but as you can see it's very rare. Sometimes I just deploy them in my second line, so since they are in a higher position they can shoot at the target, but yeah, I think that Creative Assembly should do something to them, maybe increase the speed, the armor, or maybe their missile attack. I mean, if you can decide if you want to give them more power on the missile front or on the armor resistance front. They can give the immune to flanking, or they call it I don't remember, the shields, that it's all the sides, so they will be more protected from missiles. I think the Creative Assembly can do something with all the new attributes and abilities that they created. Now it's time to address the big elephant in the room. I'm talking about the bolt throwers. We have, I think, just a couple of units like that in the game. The bolt throwers from the dwarves and the bolt throwers from the greenskins. Probably will get a new unit of bolt throwers for the chaos dwarves, but I mean, who knows in the future, but yeah, for now they are not working. In one of the last patches, Creative Assembly added 4 more entities, so before they were 4 ballista, but now they are 8 ballista. And yeah, they are working a little better, they can actually deal a little damage to the units, but it's still not enough. If you cross the fire and you attack the same monstrous infantry, monster or whatever, the damage can be good, but a single unit of ball throwers, he just does nothing. Nothing, it's just useless. If you have it or you don't have it, it's the same thing. Oh, no, it's not the same thing because you're paying 700. That, I mean, it's a lot. You can take another fast infantry, a light cavalry, and, I mean, solve the problem. So, if you manage to get stuck the unit into your dwarf front line, it can be effective. In some cases it was. But honestly, since I can recruit a little later in the game the cannons from the dwarves, I just miss this unit. I never recruit them. I do it sometimes just for trying, you know, for having fun, for the challenge. But I mean, except that they just don't work good. They don't work well, sorry. I think that Creative Assembly, what they can do is like to improve their missile strength, their accuracy. Probably they can, I mean, in my opinion, they can remove the armor piercing because, I mean, they're still arrows, maybe, but they can increase the anti-large bonus and the weapon strength overall, so they will be more effective against light cavalry, but less against armored monster. For example, in this way you can rebalance them, but you can make them far more effective. Now let's travel to the Grand Cathay to talk about the Xing War Compass. I think that since the release of Grand Cathay, this unit was not appreciated by the community. Probably the community doesn't even consider it a unit, it's more a mount. And honestly, if I have to choose between the Moonbird or the Xing War Compass for my Astromancer, I choose the Compass, because it's true that you sacrifice a lot of mobility and damage, but you have this powerhouse with more magic, with more effects. So I mean, I prefer this choice, but as a unit itself, it's not good. I think no one recruited. No one. There is this missile resistance, the mastery of the elemental winds, so he helps your wizard to increase his spells power, a power recharge, and this couple of ability that can be good. The problem is that you can do the same with an Astromancer. You don't need this additional unit. It's quite redundant and repetitive. If you have problem recruiting another Astromancer, maybe in this case it can be a nice option, but still, I mean, Grand Cathay relies a lot on magic, so you will not need a unit for that. And remember that it's a unit you have to protect, to babysit, because don't ask me why the AI prioritize it. So yeah, you have to protect, you have to give a lot of attention, a lot of management, use the spells, and is it worthy? I don't think so. What I think is that Creative Assembly can just remake this unit, add more ability, add more supporting, buff to the allies, or, to increase their power, the magical powers. Maybe with the technology you can add a lot of more stuff. In that case it will be funny, because you will have this, spell casting machine, and it can be cool. But in the current state, have you ever recruited it? I think that I recruited this unit probably just once or 2 times in my life, and then I stopped it. Okay, and you're free to tell me in the comments that I'm wrong, that this is a very powerful unit and I just didn't get it, because I never got it. What this unit is doing here. First, they are the Gnoblar Trappers. A unit of Gnoblars with the same exact stats, but with the Stalk attribute, an ability that it's very hard to understand, even for, someone like me that played thousands of hours with this game. And this missile attack that it's very weak, and you're paying the double of the price for that. Okay, the Gnoblars cost 200, the Gnoblar Trappers, they cost 500, multiplayer wise. So they are double the price, more than double the price. For what? For the Stalk that, we're talking about Ogre Kingdoms. It's a faction that is supposed to to attack offensively. He can even defend, but in most of cases he just to, you know, run a synchronized attack to the enemy. And what they are supposed to do in these things, they have to sneak around with their stalk around the enemy army and throw their little knives that even at the back of the enemies, believe me, they do no damage. It's 15 of strength, 15 of missile strength with 10 ammunition, a range of 70. I mean, what are we talking about? It's not even a missile attack. This is a bonus. This is an additional thing. But you're paying them more for an additional little thing that doesn't do anything. Believe me, try. Hit the back of the lowest tier and infantry of your enemy. They will deal no damage. Okay, and even in the Ogre Kingdom, it's even worse, because there are these big dudes, kinda, you know, supported by the Gnoblars, and then there are these that they throw knives from afar, from little afar. For what reason? Okay, sorry if I get a little emotional, but I never get what they're doing that. If they would have like an ability, okay, what Creative Assembly can do about them? They can make them with an ability that for every shot of their missile attack, they reduce the speed of the enemy, like the Monstrous Impact. Okay, for saying the Frostbite. Okay, they reduce the speed because they are trappers. In that case, okay, maybe the unit charging your Ogre, but even the units charging your Ogre, the last problem of the Ogre is units charging. So what they're doing there, why they're useful for? And please tell me that I'm wrong, because okay, sorry, I'm getting too emotional about it. Let's travel back to the Grand Cathay to address the last unit of this video, the Great Moon Bird. When they introduced this unit with the second version of the Shadows of Change DLC, I was already hyped for Scythank, the Celestial Lion, the Gate Master, so I didn't care that much. I said, okay, a new Phoenix, it's just a reskin, but I mean, I like the lore. These huge birds coming from the moon, it can be okay. The problem with that is, first, is that they give it as a mount to the Astromancer. And why I'm saying this is a bad point, because at the end I think most of people just use it as a mount for the Astromancer. I still prefer personally the Compass, but I can understand why you would choose the Moonbird over the Compass for the Astromancer hero. So you just don't recruit it as a unit. First, it's very, I say first a lot of times, but it's a very expensive and hard to recruit unit. It's very elite, okay, but at the same time it's very niche. The armor is not that good, the speed is amazing, but I mean, it's a Phoenix at the end. The melee attack and melee defense can be good against some kind of units. The weapon strength is very big, but it's not armor piercing. That for a huge bird of this size, I mean, it's weird. Okay, the charge bonus is okay. Now, what you're supposed to do with that? Is not good against infantry, because it's a little entity. Even if it's elite, even if it's a huge bird, it's still lit to target infantry. He can do a good job against cavalry and against a particular kind of mid-tier monster or characters. Mounted characters, for example, but they still do a very bad job against all the other things, and they are an elite monster, so I expect them to fight against elite units, but they don't. They are not good against big dragons. They are not even against the cockatrices. They lost, I think. I made a fight against Zinch to test the Moonbird against all the other Zinch units, and honestly, they were not performing good at all. You are paying also for an ability that it's called, this vortex, the moon flare, that is powerful, I admit it, but you have to find the right position, because you cannot move with this vortex, it will be static, and then in that case you are blocked. You cannot move for some seconds, for 10 seconds, and you can be a very easy target for the missile infantry of your enemy. So I don't know how I can suggest to use this ability. It's very niche, okay? You can use it wisely in very few scenarios. In all the others, this huge elite bird is just not effective, and I kinda don't like it. I think the creative assembly can improve this unit in many ways. The speed is already too much, but they can give him like some physical resistance, maybe to make it more ethereal, so immune to physical damage, more weapon strength, so at least it will be more focused on character killer, monster killer, and so on, more charge, or I mean some other effect like that, and in this case it can become a powerful monster, but as I said, in the current state it's just not working very well, and I mean just use it as a mount if you really like it, but avoid to recruit it.